And
I think you're going to have a bit of a surprise when you see this team composition.
I honestly think the surprise would be if it doesn't turn into a hilarious disaster. However, the game
Wait till you see the
is
team lineup.
the game is afoot. We're of course starting off in Islands. What?
You've seen it?
Well, something unconventional was the only way that DHK were going to turn this one around, and ye gods, they went unconventional. Mind you, ALN are being a little unconventional as well. They've only taken the one destroyer, but oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I hope most of those Gearings and 52s are loaded for anti-air.
Yeah. I mean, this is... I don't know what to say. No carrier. No... Well, they've got a Des Moines and 2 Gearings for AA. The Hakuryu's going to have a field day just killing everything.
Yes. I'm trying to decide whether this comes in the heading of so crazy it might work, or if these guys have just given up.
I don't even know. This is, oh god. With a carrier, there's no way the destroyer's going to be able to do anything they want to do. They're going to be perma-lit up, and only the Gearings can distract the fighters long enough to give themselves, what, 40-odd seconds of, like, breathing room? That's about it.
Yep,
So,
and even
Shima's
more...
dead, the Harbour Office is probably going to be dead. The Kurfürst, if it's not near the Des Moines, is going to struggle.
The Kebab, I think, has got the advantage. It's got a surprisingly good anti-air load. A lot of people forget that. It's not Grozavoy or Gearing potent.
2 Hakuryus, though. Like 2 torpedo bombs from
But
Hakuryu.
yes, it's going to be messy. Oh lord, right. I think this comes down to sit back and watch the carnage.
Yeah, I've got a feeling we're going to see a lot of abuse towards small ships.
Yeah. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, we're going to find out. The carriers have just about committed suicide.
This is interesting. Nobody's moving.
Oh. Right. Do we have...
The Des Moines has shifted slightly, but everyone else is perfectly static and stationary.
Okay. If this is a cunning plan, it's either so cunning that neither of us can work it out, or it's brain-dead stupid and they should really just have conceded.
Yeah, this is... I'm seeing no complaints about disconnect. Oh, here we go. Now everyone's moving.
Oh, good. Right. Okay. So maybe... Well, it can't have been slow load times, or they've said so in the chat, but...
One Gearing already being struck by a carrier. Oh, the torpedoes didn't arm in time.
Yeah, that's the thing about destroyers. It's so easy to drop your torpedoes that little bit close and just completely fluff the drop. But second drop coming in on Sacred Player carriers, take a look. Nope, just got the fighters overhead. And Elise 2000 finally wakes up his flak, and ooh, torpedo bombers take some nasty hits there. Feld has loitered one of his squadrons that little bit too close, that little bit too long, and he loses a squadron. Sacred Plate, interestingly, does not have his flak switched on, so he's just getting marked out by the fighters from Feld. And
on this Des Moines.
ALN
No.
No.
I mean, what do you do versus this? This is such an unconventional tactic. I mean, how do you plan around it? Just shoot and hope you don't get torpedoed?
Basically, it's a standard sub-hunt. ALN at this point are going to be putting their radar cruisers forward and just using that. DHK's plan might be to hotbox their smoke. So they roll one smoke launcher, then they roll a second, then they roll a third, and they just sit back and shoot from inside their smoke. But with 5-inch guns, 139mm guns, etc., they don't have the gunpowder to really handle those cruisers, and ALN pack a lot of radar.
Yeah,
so
and
it's unconventional.
With this many destroyers, like they'd prioritize cap and get map control early and actually do that way. They've got nothing right, and I don't think they will get anything. Carriers
yeah,
keep up before they even get there, and they're just going to die before they get a chance to cap it.
they've been stalled, that's certain, but kudos for them for trying something unconventional. I have to say that.
Unconventional is one way of putting it.
Well, yes, but I'm being polite here. Interestingly,
Yes.
they're kind of contesting B, and Aetherian is riding the ragged edge of the cap circle there. In fact,
I
he's
believe
out of it
Sam
at the moment.
855 and the Fumikaze is being radared by the Des Moines, and he's getting shot at by a Gearing and a Hindenburg, so...
He's not actually. He's not. They've got
Oh, he
no
isn't?
detection at the moment. They're just firing on his last known position, and as a consequence, they're actually suffered. But Aetherian's
That's smart,
done the obvious. He's fired his torpedoes, and Sam... Yep, there we go. There's the torpedo beats. No real problem there, but it's forced him out of his smoke. And, well, I don't care how fast a Shimakaze can go. Artillery fire is faster, and that's a lot of shells coming his way.
Yeah, I don't think he's long for this world.
No. It's just a question of,
Nope,
it's the
Montana's
Montana that bags him. US 16-inch Freedom armor piercing, liberating him there. He only got 2 torpedo shots away. ALN are in their defensive turns. They'll have anticipated the suicide salvo, and those torpedoes are heading off into sweet, sweet nowhere. So, first blood ALN. C's stalemated, which is interesting. Neither side wants to go in there. I can understand ALN fighting shy. Their only destroyer is in B, but you'd think DHK...
Big hit on DHK's Des Moines, broadsiding the enemy Des Moines, and suffered nearly half his health for it.
Yeah, I think he's trying to back up behind that iceberg.
He's
and
safe now.
Well, he's safe for the moment. Unfortunately, physics is a heartless mistress.
The Omri and Hindenburg now have shots now. He's
And
back
these
this
things
way.
don't come with brakes, but there we are. At least 2000 finally does what he should have done, got himself into the cap circle, taking advantage of the fact that Aetherian is over by point B and occupied.
Took a lot of damage getting in there, though.
Yeah, well, the only question is, when does the next radar set come off cooldown? Because there's no radar near point C at the moment. Point A has gone to DHK, and in fact, Blood Legend's being forced into a retreat. He's on his own in the Zhao. He's got the Hovorosk of Party 1 and the Z-52. It's either Darkness of Angel or Captain Peavy harassing him. And, well, he just can't do a thing. They can play torpedo boat with him and force him off the control point. So, I almost hate to say it, DHK might be onto something here. I think ALN are having to readjust their tactics very, very quickly. And there's so much smoke flying about the battlefield that it's going to get messy. But Darkness of Angel's in trouble. He's got a fighter overhead. A lot of angry boats looking at him. He's sprinting as hard as he can for this iceberg. But he may... No, he's just going to squeak in. There we go. Gets behind cover.
Still lit up, though, and he's very low health now.
4,500 health there. Patty 1's lit, but that's normal for a Hovorosk. He's got torp bombers overhead. And yep, the carrier drivers are looking at both PV and Party. Who are they going to go for, I wonder? PV's going to be up against an island in a few minutes, but the longer these torp bombers hesitate, the more they're going to be in the destroyer flak, and they've lost a quarter of the bombs already. So, PV's into a hard port turn defensive. There's the launch. Torpedoes in the water, but those were never going to hit. Oh, one did hit.
That's major desync.
Yeah, that's very irritating. Second launch in the water. PV's never going to dodge this, and that is one dead Z-52.
Major desync right now. I'm not sure if my end or...
I'm seeing it as well. I didn't think those first torpedoes were going to hit, but that is a nice little kill on the Z-52. And
at least it's about to go down to the Omri here, I think.
Yep.
Oh, no, Montana might sneak it. Montana sneaks it.
Yeah, and I don't know what had the detection there. I think it could have been aircraft, could have been sonar off the Omri.
I think it was the aircraft that was positioned up ahead. He was just outside of his last smoke bubble.
And now it's Verdal 09 that is in serious trouble. He's on 4,300 health. He's angled, but high explosive doesn't care, and that's what Exohortis is throwing at him from the Hindenburg's 8-inch guns. He's bouncing the worst of it, but German High X does quarter penetration, so he's not stopping it all. 2,500 health, 0
Montana
health.
sinks it again.
And the Montana, well, 16-inch shells just don't care how you're angled in a
gets torqued
cruiser.
by the gearing. Yeah.
Altherian takes it.
Something, but they just don't have any firepower to contest with the sheer number of cruisers and battleships here.
Yeah, and this is the problem with the heavy destroyer strat. You just don't have the gunnery. And right now, Patti is spotted on his own in Point A. Credit him for managing to hold it. That's a better showing than they managed in their first game. Technically, I mean, it's not a 0-point sudden death, but they haven't actually managed to kill anything, which is a fairly major tactical flaw.
Yeah. The Henri's been seriously damaged, but then again, he's charging right into the face of a Kerfer, so it's understandable that he's taking some damage here.
Yes, and the Kurfürst is, well, he's angled up, he's doing what he can, but he's on fire in 2 places. His Damcon is gone, I assume, and it's just raining ammunition over there. Your weather forecast for today is man the lifeboats.
They killed the Henri.
Yay!
Got a kill.
I think that might be as good as it gets for them, because there goes the Grosser Kurfürst, Lockenpower getting his 3rd kill, and, well, all that's really left is Patti, who is now out of friends, out of victory points, and out of time. Just as soon as somebody gets overhead and spots him in that smoke cloud, although given the way they're shooting...
fighter planes, so I think they might be catching him here. Ooh,
yeah, the Hillbilly Hydro's got him. Patti just switches off his flak, dives for cover, but that's not going to save him, not with the Havarovsk's colossal detection radius. That thing is not too far removed from a light cruiser after all. Just quickly update the camera position. There we go. 1100 health, and that's the end of that. Game over. 1-0 to Alliance. I can't say I was massively surprised there, except by the unconventional tactics.
Yeah, Destroyer Heavy... no. I mean... at the moment, Tier 10 meta seems to be rather cruiser heavy, with the battleships bringing in the decisive salvos every now and then, but destroyers just don't have the firepower to compete. And in this game, you can't. If they had a carrier, maybe they could at least fend off the enemy carrier and stop them from getting the free air spotting. But they had nothing to stop them being perma-lit up pretty much the entire game. What with radar, hydro, and the carrier.
Yeah, if they'd taken a carrier and had the ability to run that air superiority and just keep the planes off their destroyers, that might have gone a bit better than it did. A bit better than it did.
Just a bit. I mean, I don't think that lineup would have won anyway, but yeah.
Yeah. But, as I say, kudos to them for trying to break the meta. Unfortunately, the meta is the way it is for a reason. It's what generally works. Speaking of stuff that generally works, I think it's time we did a giveaway.
Giveaways?
Absolutely. Once again, Wargaming have given us some freebies to give away. I should note, ladies and gentlemen, that if you won something from us last week, you will not be able to win this week. It is the same prize package, and it's from the same batch of codes. So, no such luck there, I'm afraid. So, same drill as before. I think our text mark for this one, exclamation mark destroyers?
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, why not? Let's set that up. So, as noted, drop this into both Stunts chat and myself. We will both be giving away 3 of these codes for 10 FTW camos and a Restless Fire flag. So that is your code into one, and Stunts dropped it into his. If you need the multi-Twitch link to get yourself across, I'll drop it into both chats now. So 1 and 2. There you go. So watch both of us, get both perspectives, and, well, double the fun, double the chance to win. So we are gearing up at the moment for the Harte Kern versus Alliance round 2. Well, they tried something unconventional last time. I can't wait to see what they're going to pull out of their hats this time.
And they've gone full destroyer. They could go full cruiser, but that's very similar to conventional anyway, so...
Yes, it's kind of how would you tell? Except they wouldn't bring a carrier or a battleship along. I have to wonder, because we saw their carrier last time and he was... well, let's just say he ended up in the highlight reel, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they've benched him and didn't have a replacement. But honestly, even a bad carrier is better than no carrier at all.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what they do this time around. I mean... I don't know how... Conventional tactics are set as the way they are because they work and they're what you do for your best results, and unconventional stuff does work occasionally, but it's not... It only really works because it's something that people don't plan around. Like, you can plan around conventional setups and maps and everything, the usual style, like, okay, this is the usual way the map goes, we can plan around this and this. You do something completely random and unexpected, it will throw people some, and it really does test a team's ability to, like, adapt to a different situation, so...
Indeed, and you saw that in that match when ALN were looking at DHK's loadout and said, you saw that hesitation before they pushed into the control points and just started the usual dismantling job. They had that moment. They definitely had that moment of what on earth is going on here.
Of course, they realised what was going on and then promptly decided to kick a few puppies, but...
yeah. Ouch. That was not pleasant at all. So, DHK and ALN are setting up. We are going to be ready for round 2, and I hate to say this, probably DHK's exit from the tournament in the next couple of minutes. I must admit, I was very surprised that they only took a Kurfürst as a battleship. I can understand going full destroyer to an extent, and a mixed destroyer is interesting. I would have expected them to pull a Conqueror out, honestly, if they were going to play the ninja game.
Yeah, Conqueror would have fit a little better there. But also, another thing for Conqueror is, if you set your targets on fire, force them to damcon, if you with that many destroyers and you hit a torpedo, free flood damage, so that had a bit better synergy, I think, if they did bring Conqueror.
Yes, that's one way of looking at it, I suppose. It's, it was unconventional, I think, and I think probably the nicest thing we can say to them is kudos for trying something new. So,
yeah,
just checking the setup. Looks like they're ready to go. Just as soon as they get us set. Okay, so looks like teams are doing their final checks. Caster's ready. Okay, right. They were... that's why they hesitated. They thought the stream... They were waiting until we'd committed suicide. They didn't realise that, no, it kicks straight off. Anyhow, they've learned. So, let's get
this time, little more conventional, although still... Yeah, no carrier. But a little bit more of a conventional setup, but maybe still kind of destroyer heavy, I think.
Yeah, that's the word for it, I think. Destroyer heavy's a good description. Let's see. But again, as you say, no carrier. And okay, the DM's going to be packing defensive fire. The Hindenburg, probably. The Moskva, definitely. The Gearing, most likely. But they're still a little light on the flak. And again, ALN have gone for that one destroyer setup, and that's unusual. You normally expect to see 2 destroyers at least, just for backup and cap contesting tactics.
Yeah. This is, I think I can imagine the way this is going, but actually having a few more destroyers on this map might not be a bad idea, because it's quite a large map, and they can probably make use of it. Possibly. It's the optimist in me.
Very optimistic, I think, is the word there. So, usual drill, of course. There's no spectator spawn on this map, so Stunt and I have to commit suicide in carriers, which is always fun. Proper spectator client wargaming when. We can but hope. We can but hope. So, here's the question. What will Alliance do? They've only got one destroyer, so a couple of their cruisers are going to have to try to push unsupported, which comes with its problems, to put it mildly. But we'll find out in a moment. First torpedo salvo is closing, second torpedo salvo is right behind it, planes are retrieved. Boom. And assuming Group 4 lands before the torpedoes get there. Come on. Come on, there we go. Yoink. Boom. 8 for 8 and flooding, and should be gone fairly quickly. Yay! Normal service has kind of been resumed. So, early push by DHK down to A by the looks of it. There's some early contact thanks to the Air Force. The Hakuryu Feld's having an absolute field day. I'm surprised he didn't go 3-3-2 based on the last map, actually, but he evidently decided to play it safe, and DHK are just, well, completely revealed. Alliance know exactly what they're doing. They know it's an AC split, and I'll wager right now that DHK have got some problems with scouting.
Probably, yes. They're going to be reliant on their destroyers to do it, but the destroyers aren't going to be able to move too far out of smoke screens if they don't want to get shot to pieces.
Indeed. However, at the same time, Feld's got to be a little careful with his aircraft, because for all the main threat to aircraft is other aircraft, there's still a lot of flak down there, especially on the northern side, with the Moskva, the Kurfürst, and the DM. On the south side, he's got the Hindenburg and Conqueror. Well, Conqueror isn't the most potent AA boat going, but the close to mid-range flak on that's pretty nasty if you're trying to strike it. However, right now, he's hunting a Z-52, and I can only assume that either Darkness of Angel has smoked up somewhere, because right now he can't actually see the bomber. Well, he can't see the destroyer, and he can't see a smoke cloud either, at least I can't. Let me just flick my control over. There we are. There's the smoke cloud. It's in the northwestern side. So he knows
Conqueror's going to get dropped, although he's losing a lot of planes, I assume, the Hindenburg.
And there's the radar, so Darkness of Angel now knows he's been spotted. Couple of torpedoes into Elise. Probably not massive damage, but either a flood or an instant damcon there. High explosive.
Sacred Play took a lot of damage moving up to where he is. He's down to like 4k health already.
Yeah.
So he's hurting.
And PV's been forced to turn around and pull out, which leaves at least 2,000 now in the Conqueror to try and storm the cap point. More or less solo, but he's got a problem. I think he must have damconned against that first torpedo attack, because he's now got 2 fires burning, and they are just slowly chipping away, even with that new boat button. And since he's got to commit into cap point A, he can't really disengage. He's way too close. And, well, this is how you kill a Conqueror. You just focus it down.
A couple of torpedoes coming in here on the Des Moines and Kurfürst. Looks like the Des Moines was going to take. Oh, they ran out just in time. Lucky. That could have been some major damage right there.
Lucky, lucky, lucky. Right, Elise has gone full stop. He's down to less than 30,000 health. He's got a Hindenburg and a DM brassing him up with high explosive. Lockham Power's coming around. Elise just fired high explosive at broadside Montana. Well, leaving that inevitable and probably thoroughly deserved kicking to its conclusion, Sacred Play looks to be in trouble as well. 3,500 health, 200 health and a fire. Instant damcon.
85 health he's left
80,
on.
Yeah, and Maceijo Vietnam's coming round the corner. But Etherian's looking for blood as well. It's just going to be who lands the next shell, isn't it? Boom, there we go. Eltharian landing the shot, but he's blown his cover in the process. And as a result, he's going to have to break away from the cap circle. He doesn't want to end up in front of a Moskva and a Kurfürst, which leaves Maceijo Vietnam also turning defensively, trying to angle on
taking a lot of damage.
The Kurfürst
down to 2,000 health now.
Bull.
This is going about as well as the last one, isn't it?
Yeah, honestly, I'd say it's going worse.
Yeah.
Captain PV's breaking away, and surprise, Elise went down. I can't say that was a big thing. Oh, Lochan taking a torpedo there. Darkness of Angel forced out of the cap. Again, locked on by aircraft. This is the problem with not having a carrier. You just cannot hold any kind of stealth, and Darkness of Angel goes down. American AP once again liberating the enemy from their ship. Which leaves PV bow on to far too many guns for comfort down in Point C, and well, the cruisers are throwing high X. Well, I tell a lie, Lampke's actually throwing armor piercing for some reason, but he'll fix that in his next broadside. There we go, high explosive down, turns broadside. I think he just wants it to be over at this point. Here comes the AP.
Montana obliges.
Yeah, ouch. So that is Point A completely collapsed. Point B was never contested, and we have, well, pick your last stand metaphor here, ladies and gentlemen. The Alamo, Rorke's Drift. Actually, no, Rorke's Drift is bad. They ended up winning that one. Isandlana, take your pick, really, because it's not going to end well for DHK, is it?
No, I think this is sayonara to DHK for the tournament now.
I think it is. One of the adjudicators actually asked me why we were covering this game, and, well, I did say we were basically just watching to see how the wheels came off.
Patty spotted and being lit up by, I am assuming, the gearing, who's
Yep.
smoking up and pounding him.
And
Carrier's trying to drop him as well.
Credit to Patty, he's been trying to play the territory game very aggressively in these matches. Hoverosk is not the best ship to contest a control point
takes a
in,
big chunk of him.
especially when you've got no air cover and a rapid fire gearing aiming at you, and it turns like a light cruiser, and there are torpedoes in the water, and he's
Desynced.
actually desynced, but, well, he dodged 3 out of 4, but the carrier only needed 1. I think there might be some discussion, honestly, in the post-tournament wrap-up as to whether or not King of the Sea needs to start enforcing a minimum skill level, or at least a minimum performance level in Clan Wars to enter the tournament. Because as much as a good puppy kicking is entertaining, yeah.
Oh boy.
Yes, we are. Yeah, I honestly don't know what to say here. There's no mutual support. There's no focus fire. They can't focus fire. Verdal's behind an island. Sam 855 is just praying for torpedo shots. Makajo gets
torps.
point blank with torpedoes and takes out the Moskva, and, well,
I think enemy's Hal might have clipped his own Henri in that shot as well. I mean, there we go. That's something.
yeah, Blood Legend maybe getting a little blood for the Blood God there, but Barabol broadside on in the giant sausage, and, well, about to eat a lot of little sausages. 1, 2, and I think that third one's going to finish him. He damcons, boom,
There
gone.
it goes. Shima's being charged by the Henri, and I'm facing out that Shima's already wasted all his torps, so he's got none left.
He's got maybe
Massive
30
desync
seconds
again,
on his
but he does
reload.
hit.
Verdal goes down to high explosive fire, and a Shima gets torpedoed by a cruiser. Oh, the humiliation.
Yeah.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right, so that's farewell to the Harte Kern Alliance go through to the round of 16.